Good morning, everyone. This is Mark Cabrera. Welcoming you to our seminar today about the 4 pillars of success of a successful real estate business. So today we're going to be talking about what it takes to be successful, but we're primarily focusing on the 4 pillars of a successful real estate business, which kind of puts a more narrow focus to make sure that you're able to achieve what you're trying to accomplish in the business of real estate. So I've met some people from all walks of life trying to get into the business, from even police officers to teachers to engineers. And what I've noticed is that there is a lack of direction that a lot of people have in terms of what they have on their thought process on this preconceived notion of what real estate is all about. Because when you purchase your property and you see your agent selling your home, and sometimes you get to glance over and you see that they're actually making a certain amount of income, you feel like, wow, this business is a lot of money that you can make. But what people don't realize is the back end of this business requires a lot of maintenance, a lot of work that you don't get paid for, a lot of ups and downs, that there's certain parts of your business when you're trying to get to settlement and it doesn't happen, or a lot of obstacles you run into. The most important part that you have to understand is our perseverance of making sure that we've done our best and making sure that we understand that this business is based on a process. It's based on fundamental principles that you need to rely on. And these pillars I'm going to talk to you about is essential in real estate, as well as it can apply to any business that you may have out there. Because if you're looking at the direction your company or your business is trying to go, what you have to understand that there's the basic pillars, or what Stephen Covey mentions on his book on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is there's a lighthouse that doesn't move. So certain principles of our business don't move. And these pillars are very basic. And these are the pillars that I've applied to my own business, the success that I've actually received over the years that I've been doing this. And I've been doing this for about 26 years. And at this point, I can say that I've sold over 1,000 houses. So looking at it from that experience, that expertise in the brokerage, understanding the part of the struggles that we go through on a day-to-day basis, especially when you're new in the business. The first 4 years of my career, I sold 1 house per year, and I was about to quit the business because of that. But then I found somebody who mentored me through the process, and I understood what these 4 pillars are. Not necessarily from my mentor, but through observing and understanding and getting more exposure to each and every transaction, I understood exactly what it takes to succeed. So this is what we're going to be discussing today. So what does a successful real estate business look like? Well, the first thing I would tell you, if you're going to get into business, make sure it's profitable. So some people actually make this business as not necessarily a career move, more for prestige reasons, which I know some people actually had done that, got the real estate license to say that they're a realtor, or they're in the real estate business, or they're in the investment business, whatever business they're trying to get into. But the more important part of what does a successful real estate business look like is being able to achieve your financial goals. So if you get into this business and you're not achieving your financial goals, either you make the adjustments for you to achieve it, or don't wait too long to lose so much that you lose everything, which I've seen that happen also, where people, after 6 months, a year being in the business, are not able to pay their bills anymore, and they end up either going bankrupt or getting a full-time job somewhere and just trying to survive. We are not in the survival business mode. We are in a planning, execution, and achieving mode. If you put your mindset in terms of how you can achieve your goals, this is what it looks like to be in the real estate business, not the other way around. 9 out of 10 people who starts this business, well, there's a reason behind that. It's because the mindset that we've been raised ever since we're younger, where the mindset of becoming an employee or learning a particular career path, that when you finish college, you are actually an employee, not an entrepreneur. How many times have you taken classes going through school that they're teaching you how to think for yourselves, how to actually run a company, and what's the mentality, the attitude, the motivation that you gotta keep it going for you to succeed in the business? What does it take to be internally being able to be responsible for your actions and your behavior, being accountable? We always have to be accountable to others, but yet we're not accountable to ourselves. So when it comes to ourselves, we put it on the side because nobody's looking or nobody cares. But in reality, you should care, because that's the direction your career is going to go. That's the direction your life is going to go. So everything that I wanted in my life so far, I've achieved, and I'm achieving more than what I'm expecting actually in the past 2 years. It's been great working. And I can tell you one thing, this company is definitely going places because it has that infrastructure to allow you to grow. And to me, having been with Remax, I was with Remax prior for like almost 20 years overall, and had my own company before that on my own for about 4 years. I've experienced being in different atmosphere or in different environment. What I find is for agents who are actually starting out or trying to grow their company, this is an environment that you can, because they have coaching that they allow you to be coached. It cost me $6,000 a year to get coached. Giving it to you guys for free. It's just a matter of who you get coached with make a difference, of course, of your success. But that $6,000 that I paid every single year was way worth it, because at some point I was making $920,000 in 1 year. All you got to do is look at my Bright MLS and you will see my numbers, and you'll see exactly the numbers it looked like. But what does it take to be successful is not just the financial goals, which I achieved, by the way. Only thing is my personal life got ruined to go along with it. So it has to have a balance somewhere, and this is one of the pillars we're going to talk about today. Also, able to have a personal time. To me, as much as you want to have your financial goals achieved, wouldn't it be nice to be able to take as much vacation as you would like? I mean, given the situation of last year, 2021, still pandemic on that stuff, I took 14 weeks of vacation. I mean, people might not have noticed it, but I'm sure some of the people that work with me actually noticed it. But I still got a lot of things done. And the reason why is because everything that I do is intentional. It's something that I do based on a plan and based on an executed plan. Now, here's what happens. You get days when you wake up, like especially this morning. I was like struggling to get up this morning. I'm going to be honest. I'm just like you, like all of us, struggling to get up in the morning. Well, especially for this particular morning, because I've been exhausted. I had a surgery 2 weeks ago. That's why there was no seminar for a couple of weeks, because I was out. But I'm still recovering from that surgery. And waking up this morning, I realized, I was like, oh my gosh, I feel so exhausted and tired. But yet, I'm excited. Why? Because I have a mission statement that I've written down in my bathroom that I read every day. And when I read that, it made me realize, you know what? It's game on. It's time to actually get up and get things going and get things done. Because every single day that you do things, it gets you towards your goal. But here's the interesting thing about it. It's like brushing your teeth. I brush my teeth at least twice a day. Some of you guys probably brush it 3 times. And I met some agents who I was training. It's like, brushing teeth is optional. And I'm like, okay, okay, that gets really interesting. Well, anyway, I mean, it's not an optional thing for me. I'm pretty sure for you guys too, it's not always optional. You have to brush your teeth. But here's the thing. You brush your teeth every day, twice a day, 3 times a day. And when you go to your dentist, most of the time, the results are good, right? In those days that you miss 1 or 2, right, and you still show up to your dentist 6 months later, it's still okay. But when you stop actually brushing your teeth for a week, let's say, right, and then get back into it, and then a month later, you didn't brush your teeth for a week, 6 months later, you find the results, right? This is the real estate for you. Whatever you do today affects you 3 months from now. So it's every day you don't prospect, don't expect results to come out 3 months from now that you're going to have transactions. I mean, you must be dreaming at that point. I mean, let me know what you're taking, because, I mean, if you're that happy 3 months from now and you produce nothing, then, let me know what you're taking, because I want to be happy too, because I'm not going to be happy if I'm not going to be producing anything in the business. Why? Because this business supports my causes, my needs, my wants in my life, everything that I actually kind of strive for is based on also financial. Also, when I notice that also, it's not everything. My life doesn't revolve around making income. My life revolves around producing income to support my life. That's the biggest difference. So some people actually just work because they need to pay their bills. I work because I want to have a beautiful life. And the beautiful life I'm talking about is more than 14 weeks of vacation. 14 weeks was actually good. And believe it or not, my income has grown the more vacation I take. And people tell me, like, some of the people I'm actually mentoring and coaching, like, Mark, are you serious right now? You take more vacation, you make more money. Believe it or not, you do. Because what happens is the more relaxed you are, the more happier you are as a person, the more attractive you become to others. And it's a natural thing. So when people tell me like prospecting, making phone calls, but they're miserable, don't expect results out of that. Who would want to actually work with miserable people, right? People like to work with positive people. And I'm pretty sure you do too. If you want to actually work with somebody, you want somebody who's uplifting, positive, who would want to actually achieve your goals. And number one, for everything else before anything else, is that they care about you. And that's what we miss in this business. There's not enough training on how to take care and be very caring to others. Be kind and be caring to others. And it's the most interesting thing because sometimes I had a job interview when I used to be a recruiter a long, long time ago before I went full-time in real estate. There was an applicant that was so nasty at the door, actually at the building, and I'm the one doing the recruiting. So this person actually was so rude and going to the appointment, but this person didn't know that I was her appointment. So by the time she got to the appointment, basically, I already had an impression of her that I wouldn't want to place her anywhere else. And I was actually doing recruiting for accounting and finance at the time. So believe it or not, you don't know who you bump into out there. And here's the thing. When you run into a situation, you bump into somebody and you're not nice to them, right? It hurts your business 100 times worse than if you bump into somebody and you actually happen to be nice to them. It actually gives you 10 times of possibility that you can get referrals out of it. I mean, literally, I walk into certain places, putting up a sign at an open house, and the couple is walking by with their dog, and they're renting a property in that neighborhood. They ended up buying it through me. Because why? Because when I was putting up the sign, I took the time to talk to them and let them know there's a house for sale. But they didn't buy that house. But they would like to work with me because I was positive, I was caring, I was kind, and I took the time. These are the things that actually make a difference. Your success revolves around how you walk, how you talk, and how you carry yourself. So it's very important to have personal time because that's how you build that side of the business. Building that side of the business is being able to understand yourself and your insecurities and how to overcome those. Because those are the ones that deter you from success. Because what you think what others may do to you, you end up assuming others that what you would do to others is what others would do to you. So you're assuming certain premise, and when you're talking to people, you cannot build trust this way. Because, especially if you've been hurt in the past and you're still kind of like lingering and trying to pull that back into the conversations that you're having, people don't want to be around you this way.